Welcome everybody to North Wilkesboro Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Truck Series Maze Construction Truck Series here at North Wilkesboro Speedway here on iRacing. We want to thank you for tuning in here tonight. Sorry for the little bit of a late start here, but we are here getting ready to do 110 laps around this historic little half-mile speedway. You'll see some of these drivers not running their normal paint jobs tonight. It is throwback night. So we'll go through some of the paint jobs in just a little bit. Currently at the top of the board, though, is the 11 of Brett Murrell. Atman Atlee Weiss currently sitting in second. See Brian Murrell Jr., or excuse me, Zachary Cox now just coming off of turn number 4. And across the line, and Cox is going to stay up in that 4th position. David Hartney out on track in that Richard Petty looking machine. Got a little loose off the corner, but able to get the power down. Hartney comes off of turn number 4. Let's see how he goes on his first lap here. He's going to jump up to the pole currently on his first lap. So he's able to improve on his time on his second lap here. Right down on the bottom and off the corner. And he's going to shut it down there. Did not like that lap at all. David Wright coming off of turn number 4, getting ready to take the green flag for his first of 2 laps. Oh, catches the wall. That's going to not help him out at all. Oh, and catches the wall again. So tough break for Dave Wright. Having trouble getting around this track. Let's see who else is out on track currently. Will Witt. Part of Wasted Wages Racing, making his way down through turns 1 and 2. Just took the green flag. Down the backstretch he comes. Down into turns 3 and 4. Run that square D, the Marvin the Martian paint job. I think that's who's on the front of that. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Yep, that's what it is. Marvin the Martian on the front of that Square D machine. So, really cool looking throwback paint job right there for Will Witt. Cody Moore coming off of turn number 4 down across the stripe. He's just took his first lap. Jumps up into the 7th position. Will Witt currently up to the top spot. And across the stripe, Cody Moore on his second lap is going to go P4. See Devin Butchnow out on track right now in that Valvoline 68. Throwback to Mark Martin from the mid-90s. As he comes across the line. Struggling to get the power down on that machine. He's going to start. Oh, and he loses it down in turns 1 and 2. So that's going to do it for Butchnow. He's going to be back in the 8th position. Todd Mays just took the stripe, or took the white flag. He just moved up into the 8th position. See what he's able to do here. Makes his way off of turn number 4. And his second lap is just a little bit slower. See Logan Hagerman now out on track. Derek Chaput, Blake Hensley all on track as well. Off of turn number 4. Logan's first lap is going to put him up into... Oh, I'm sorry, he just took the green flag. My mistake. Now he's going to come across to take the white flag in his first lap. He's going to put him up into the 8th position. See if he's able to improve on that time. Blake Hensley just went P2 on his lap, knocking David Hartley back into the 2nd row. And Hagerman's going to go P6. See Kyle Mays out on track currently. Just a couple cars left, or trucks left to qualify here. Kyle Mays' first lap is going to put him up into... he must have hit the wall or something because he did not record a first lap. Down into turns 3 and 4. And across the stripe, and he's going to go P5. See Joe Wright out on track. Coming to the white flag off of turn number 4. Joe's going to jump up into the 9th position on his first lap. See if he's able to improve on his second lap. Michael White also out on the track. Off of turn 4. And Joe Wright is going to improve his time, move up into 6th. Michael White in a bit of a throwback, even though it's what he runs every week. That Jurassic Park Home Depot machine as he catches the inside wall. So that's going to end his qualifying. And while we've got a second, let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. And we see Cody Moore up at the top of the board. Clint Stone 3 points back. And that's a big gap back to Devin Butchnow. Will Witt, Blake Hensley, your top 5. Eddie Morris sits back in 6th. He has a win as well. 7th, Joe Wright, Brett Murrell, Logan Hagerman, Kyle Mays, Mark Shavers, and Todd Mays. If the season was to end right now, or the regular season, this is where your playoffs would look like. As we've got trucks on track, Clint Stone now making his way around the track. Already taking the white flag up in the 17th position. Let's see what he's able to do here on his second lap. Comes off of turn number 4. Clint's going to jump up to 3rd. So a big jump for Clint Stone as we have just a few moments left of qualifying, just about a minute left, which is plenty of time to get out there. We have 2 drivers left to qualify. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Eli Lewis left to qualify. And both drivers do have time to get out there and make a lap. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensely Broadcasting. And there's a couple links below. Don't forget to check out our great partners as well, especially one of our great partners, which I'm sure you'll hear about later on, and that is Butt Kicker. So for more information on Butt Kicker, check out thebuttkicker.com. The Butt Kicker's award-winning line of haptic transducers lets users feel low-frequency sounds. They're used worldwide by professional sim racers and PC gamers. The virtually indestructible system allows you to feel immersive, accurate, and powerful gaming effects. So you can check that out at thebuttkicker.com. I personally have one myself. I've got the Gamer Plus, and let me tell you, it's pretty neat being able to feel every bump on the track, the engine, the shifting, everything. So if you don't have one, definitely check it out, thebuttkicker.com. Let's take a look here at your starting grid. Oh, I did that. Starting with your pole sitter tonight, the 88 of Blake Hensley, Will Witt, going to start to his outside in position number 2. Clint Stone's going to roll off from 3rd, and David Hartney from the 4th position. Brett Murrell In the 11, he'll roll off 5th with Kyle Mays to his outside in 6th. Joe Wright in the 82, he'll roll off 7th. And Michael White in the 8th position. Cody Moore in the 52, he'll roll off 9th with teammate Logan Hagerman to his outside, rounding out the top 10. Atlee, Atman Weiss in that 78 machine, he'll be rolling off from the 11th position with Eddie Morse to his outside in 12th. Brian Murrell Jr. in the 74, he'll roll off 13th with Derek Chaput to his outside in 14th. In row number 8, we'll find the 9 of Todd Mays with Devin Butchnow to his outside in 16th. Then Zachary Cox and Michael Provolt will round out row number 9 with Jake McCartney and David Wright back in row number 10. Then rounding out the rest of the field will be the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and the 03 of Eli Lewis. As we get ready for 110 laps around this short North Wilkesboro Speedway. A little quirky track as well. You don't notice it watching it from the stands or watching it from the TV booth, but there's actually a little bit of elevation change on the track. We'll jump on board here. With Blake Hensley, and you'll notice as you come down the backstretch, you're actually going uphill. And then when they come down the front stretch, you'll notice that the track is actually going downhill. So that changes the braking points for both ends of the track. Also, you notice that curb down there through turns 3 and 4. But down into turns 1 and 2, there is no curb. So you literally come down the front stretch, down into turn number 1 as you come down the hill. And no curbing down to the inside of turns 1 and 2. So it flattens out down there due to the apron coming off of pit road. So watch for drivers possibly run a little bit higher up, more that first lane off the dotted line. We saw that in the Rebels race here at North Wilkesboro a couple weeks ago. So watch for that here tonight as drivers try to run just a little bit off the bottom. But here we go. Blake Hensley's getting ready to lead them down to the starting zone. Pace car is off. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at North Wilkesboro, and already Blake Hensley getting out in front, trying to get around Will Witt. Here comes Clint Stone battling hard on the inside as well. As Clint Stone catches the inside apron. He catches Will Witt as well. Those two go around. Another, looks like Logan Hagerman might have gotten up into the wall as well. And that is going to bring out our first Wreckage Rewind of the night. As we see him go down into turn number 3. And you see that black 99 catches the grass, catches that curbing in turns 3 and 4, slides up the track right in front of David Hartney, catches Will Witt. Logan Hagerman makes hard contact with the 99 of Clint Stone. So Will Witt, Clint Stone, Logan Hagerman all down on pit road as the field makes their way off of turn number 4. So an early caution here tonight. And as I was mentioning in the pre-race, watching out for that curb. That could be treacherous, and you see exactly that. Clint Stone just barely nipping that curb. Sends that truck up the track into Will Witt, and unfortunately for him, a lot of damage to both trucks. Possibly having to use their reset early. I know Will might be unscathed for the most part. Might be in good shape, but both Logan Hagerman and Clint Stone with heavy damage to their vehicles. The lights are still on the pace car, so we'll go at least one more lap before those shut off. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night, same time, 9:30 Eastern, as the SCSRA Xfinity Series takes on North Wilkesboro in their throwback race as well. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you tune in, hit that little notification bell so you get notified anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. As we get ready for the lights to go off on the pace car, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them here at North Wilkesboro. Let's see what side Blake takes here. He's going to choose the inside lane. That's going to put David Hartney up on the high side. Kyle Mays and Brett Murrell back in row number 2. Joe Wright and Michael White back in row number 3. Field is making their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car is going to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flags back in the air. We are back racing. A great jump for Blake Hensley as he makes his way down in turns 1 and 2. Hartney has a little bit of a challenge on the inside in the form of Kyle Mays, but Hartney able to use that high lane to pull away from Mays as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Hartney running that one lane up, kind of like we saw earlier in the Rebels race this week. Might have been a couple weeks ago, and we see, one truck around. That looks like Dave Wright losing it up into the outside wall. Caution is back on the racetrack. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind tonight. Oh, thought I had the Wreckage Rewind button up. Let's see exactly what happened to D right here. Coming off a turn number 4. And down into the front stretch and just got a little overzealous getting into the corner. Locked up the rear tires. Able to keep it off the other drivers, but catches the fence. And that's going to put us under caution for the second time. So 2 quick cautions here at North Wilkesboro tonight. And you know what they say, cautions breed cautions, which just happens to be our best-selling shirt on IntensityBroadcasting.com. You can check that one out, Cautions Breed Cautions, as well as some of our other novelty tees that you can find on IntensityBroadcasting.com. There is a link below if you want to check that out and support us. You can also support Atlee Atman-Weise's racing career as well. Because he does have his merchandise up on the website as well. Tristan Newman asks, when are the stage breaks tonight? They will be at one stage break tonight. Gonna be at, let me just double check so I am not wrong. Stage will be at the end of lap 36. So at the end of lap 36, when the leader makes his way down into turn number 2, the caution will fly to bring out the stage caution. Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Blake Hensley again chooses that inside lane, puts Dave Hartney up on the high side. Kyle Mays, Brett Murrell back in row number 2. Cody Moore up in the 5th with Joe Wright in 6th as the field makes their way through turns 3 and 4. Green flags back in the air. We are back racing here at North Wilkesboro. Big jump for Blake Hensley allows Dave Hartney to sneak down onto the low line to easily take over that second position. Brett Murrell now up in the 3rd place as Cody Moore takes a look down to the inside of Kyle Mays, but just not close enough to make that move work just yet. Right behind, we see side-by-side racing. Eddie Morris and Michael White, as they go down side-by-side into turns 1 and 2. Morris with the advantage on that middle lane. He's going to clear the 09. And Zachary Cox has Chaput to the inside. Devin Butchnow right behind Cox, trying to move himself forward, and Caution is back out on the track. And, couple cars around. Will Witt, Clint Stone, Logan Hagerman. I believe Dave Wright was involved in this one as well. It's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind as we take a look to see what happened to Hagerman, who's got Michael Provolt to his inside coming through turns 1 and 2. Oh, and Hagerman just overdrove turn number 3. Almost got into Brian Murrell Jr. Cuts it down hard to the inside. Catches that curbing. We saw that already once tonight. Comes back across the track. Will Witt has been the victim of somebody hitting the curb twice now tonight as he makes hard contact with that outside lane. Clint Stone and the 10 of Jake McCartney involved. D. Wright trying to get it woed down to avoid contact there as well. And it looks like that is going to do it for Logan Hagerman tonight. Eli Lewis down on pit road. It looks like Cheeseburger is out of the race as well. So 18 laps into the event. We've already under our 3rd caution. So Friday night, we're going to have some more short track racing as the Original Rebels Grand National Series brings the Gen 6 cars to Nashville Fairgrounds. Then Sunday night, we have our truck doubleheader with the Hardline Transport Solution Outlaw Series and the whole Heating and Sheet Metal Truck Series. They are both going to be taking on the Roval. So if you're a fan of turning left and turning right, tune in Sunday night for 2 truck series doing just that. But here we go. Pace car has the lights off. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Blake Hensley chooses that inside lane yet again. Leaves David Hartney out on the high side. Off of turn 4. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. Another great jump for Blake. Another great start for Hartney as he's able to slide back into the 2nd position. And now Brett Murrell and Kyle Mays battle it out for the 3rd position. Side by side down into turns 3 and 4. Murrell trying to get that run down on the low side. Oh, Kyle Mays gets a little loose. A little contact between those two. So they go down into turns 1 and 2. Door-to-door rubbing. And that's going to allow Brett Murrell to take over that 3rd position. Now Kyle Mays has Cody Moore right behind him. Moore tried to take a look up to the high side. He's going to try to cross him over here off of turn number 4. Not quite close enough to make the move. Can he make it turn? Oh, gets on the binders a little hard. Has to keep from checking up Oh, he turned the 55. Cody Moore turns the 55 around. They're both in the wall. Joe Wright is around as well. Caution is out. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind. So we saw Cody try to make the crossover move here on Kyle Mays, and just getting down in the corner. Looks like Kyle May came down just a little bit. A little bit of contact between those two. They both go around. Joe Wright runs into the back of Cody Moore with just nowhere to go. Those three go sliding down to the infield. See Todd Mays in that 9 machine. He's able to get it woe down to keep from running into Joe. It's just going to be those 3 trucks involved. So under caution again here at North Wilkesboro. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we want to thank Butt Kicker for being a great partner. Butt Kicker is established and trusted brand in haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker transducers allow you to feel ultra-low sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers worldwide. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded haptic system that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. There is a link below in the description. I have the Gamer Plus myself. It is a really neat thing. I race in an office chair with a steering wheel on a desk, so I don't have one of those big fancy rigs. Although I do run in VR, so it does give you that little bit of immersion. But having the Butt Kicker, you can feel things that you normally wouldn't feel. You can feel the tires breaking loose. You can feel if you lock up. You can feel every bump on the track, the engine's revving up and down, every gear shift. If you're a road course racer, you can feel the curbs and the bumping and the rumple strips as you go over them. It gives you that little bit of a seat of the pants feel. I just have the one on the back of my office chair, but I do know that you can run up to 4. And if you have a rig, you could run one in each corner of the rig to simulate each tire and have a different effect out of each wheel. So check that out at the link down below at thebuttkicker.com. But here we go. Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Blake Hensley back down on the bottom. David Hartney up on the high side. Neither driver really able to get into a rhythm just yet with all these cautions. But we're getting ready as the pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road, and we're going to race to the stage now. Green flag is back in the air, and Hartney able to slide back into that second position again. As Michael White has cleared Zach Cox, and he set his sights on the 11 of Brett Murrell. Field starting to calm down just a little bit. A little further back in the pack, though. Back in the Hornet's Nest. See Will Witt, Clint Stone, Derek Chaput, Devin Butchnow all back here. Trying to fight for position and move themselves back up to the front. Almost some 3-wide racing. See Brian Murrell Jr. looking down underneath Clint Stone. Ooh, Todd Mays just got real loose out in front of Will Witt. And then Zachary Cox we see stuck down on the bottom as Uncle Todd tries to make the move up to the high side. We've seen that all night long. We've seen that before. That high lane is definitely the lane you want to be in. You see Michael White up in that middle lane right now, trying to keep Eddie Morris at bay. But Morris using that low lane to his advantage right now, able to get down into the corner a little bit deeper. And he's going to try to clear the 09 of Michael White as we are coming down to the end of the stage in just a couple laps. Blake Hensley comes off of turn number 4. He continues the lead here over David Hartney. Cox currently sliding backwards. Clint Stone around the outside. Here comes Devin Butchnow looking up to the outside as well. Michael Provel in a battle here with Derek Chaput. Right behind you see Kyle Mays and Cody Moore trying to get through here as well. Those two are just involved in an incident. They continue to run side by side as Zachary Cox real slow down on the bottom. They're almost made it 3 wide as they came off of turn number 2. Cox just not able to get a rhythm. Stuck down on that low side. As David Hartney has a hard charging Brett Murrell right behind him off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Down into turns 3 and 4. 1 lap left in the stage. Can Dave Hartney hold on to second, or is Brett Murrell going to try to take that position away? But Blake Hensley out front by over a second. Yellow flag will be in the air momentarily as Blake Hensley comes off of turn number 4, and he is going to win the stage. David Hartney is going to come back home in second. Brett Murrell in third. Eddie Morris fourth in the stage. Michael White in 5th. Todd Mays in 6th. Clint Stone, Will Witt, Devin Butchnow, and Brian Murrell with the 1 stage point. And it looks like we might have actually had an issue on the track, and we'll not going to bring up the full Wreckage Rewind here. Oh yeah, look at that. We had Zachary Cox may have a little bit of help here from behind. No, he just got into it a little hard all by himself, slides down into the grass, but that did not bring out the yellow as he was down off the racing surface. So how about this? Blake Hensley, Brett Murrell, Eddie Morris, Michael White, Todd Mays, Clint Stone, Will Witt, Cody Moore, Derek Chaput, Michael Provolt all stay out. Eli Lewis, the first truck off of pit road. Nope, he stayed out. I'm sorry, he stayed out as well. He had to pit earlier for damage. So David Hartney, the first truck off of pit road. And Devin Butchnow pulling a 2-tire stop here to get a little bit of track position, move him up into 13th. Brian Murrell Jr., Kyle Mays, Jake McCartney, Joe Wright, Zachary Cox, Dave Wright, Atlee Atman Weiss. The rest of the field. And then a couple of trucks now coming down pit road. Clint Stone, Michael White, Todd Mays, all down on pit road. But Blake Hensley is going to continue to lead and staying out on these older tires. Now, we did have a lot of cautions in the first stage, so those tires should be pretty fresh. But if we do get a long green flag run, how long can Hensley stay out there? A, on those tires, and B, with that fuel. Again, we want to thank everybody who's joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do see 10 of you out there watching currently. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're pulling for here tonight, who your driver of choice is. The chat is always open. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Blake Hensley choosing that inside lane again. This time Brett Murrell to the outside. Eddie Morris and Will Witt back in row number 2. Derek Chaput and Cody Moore in row number 3 as the pace car makes its way onto pit road. Blake Hensley back to the loud pedal. We're back. Green flag racing. Blake with another big jump over Brett Murrell. Will Witt trying to fight back on the high side, trying to get back up to the point, with Eddie Morris trying to continue to move forward on that low lane. Morris really the only driver we've seen use that low lane to his advantage. Most drivers have gotten down there and have not been able to move themselves forward, but Eddie doing a good job down there as he's battling side by side. Oh, and almost gets a little loose, almost gets tagged by Cody Moore right behind. That causes Cody Moore to check up and puts Derek Chaput to his outside. Here comes the 03 of Eli Lewis through the mix here as well. Chaput and Moore side by side. Now Chaput's going to tuck in line. Oh, almost gets... Eli Lewis almost gets tagged by Michael Provolt back here in the mix. Devin Butchnow able to clear the 03. Here comes Kyle Mays up on the high side as well. And Brian Murrell Jr. looking to the outside. All these drivers on fresh tires, and you're able to see what those do. That 03 is not on fresh tires. We got a big wreck in behind. Todd Mays and Zach Cox involved. Looks like Joe Wright was caught up in it as well. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind as we take a look to see what happened in the back of the field. See some hard racing here between Joe Wright and Zachary Cox down into the corner. And it looks like Wright might have overdrove the corner just a little bit. Came up the track into Zachary Cox. Uncle Todd Mays just nowheres to go. He gets involved in it as well. Able to avoid a couple earlier, not able to avoid that one. So a tough break for a couple of drivers involved in that one. Brian Knutti says Blake Hensley looking good out front. That cheeseless cracker racing machine currently leading from the drop of the green flag. Brian Kennedy says CCM. CCM, baby, his exact words, as he's rooting on his teammates. Sorry to see you couldn't join the race here tonight, Kennedy. Don't know, hope everything's okay on your end. But we're getting ready to go back green flag racing in just a few moments as the lights on the pace truck or pace car should be shutting off this time by. Sim rigs apart, be together tomorrow. That's never a good sign when you got the virtual race car taken apart. I know from experience because I had to take my machine apart the other day and put it back together. But here we go. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, get ready to refire them. With Blake Hensley choosing the inside lane yet again. Brett Murrell to the outside. Will Witt, Eddie Morris back in row number 2. Cody Moore and Derek Chaput in row number 3. Pace car hits pit road. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at North Wilkesboro. Again, Blake Hensley with a huge jump on the restarts. Brett Murrell able to slide up into second place. Side-by-side battle between Eddie Morris and Will Witt back for that third position. Will down on the bottom, Morris up on the high side. We saw Morris make most of his passes earlier on the high side, or excuse me, on the low side. Now he's trying to work that high side to try to get around that 35 machine. Just behind, we see, Cody Moore gets real loose with Derek Chaput to the outside. And that's a battle. Back for 5th and 6th. 3 wide off of turn number 4. The 03 just got really loose. Eli Lewis comes down, spins out, brings out the caution. We saw 3 wide racing for just a moment. And that is going to bring out another Wreckage Rewind. We saw Lewis there In the middle of 3 wide, Clint Stone on the bottom, Kyle Mays on the high side, Devin Butchnow also in that middle 3 wide. Butchnow got a little loose, and so did the 03. The 03 came down. I believe that's the 74 of Brian Murrell Jr. David Hartney barely able to sneak by. That's like the 3rd or 4th time that they've wrecked right in front of Hartney, and he's able to get through. So tough break for Eli Lewis on his series debut. But a lot of racing to go. Plenty of time to get himself back up into the mix. See David right in the 84 getting the wave around to get himself back onto the lead lap. So we'll have just a couple more laps before we go back green flag racing. Of course, we want to thank all of our great partners. We already spoke about Butt Kicker, but also don't forget to check out the other links down below to intensitybroadcasting.com for all your hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, whatever you can dream up, whether it's got the Intensity logo on it, it's got Atman Weiss's logo on it, or maybe one of your favorite leagues, possibly one of our novelty tees. You can check that out at intensitybroadcasting.com. Also check out the best in iRacing setups and driver coaching at raceepi.com. Another link down below in the description. Check that out as well. Nudie also rooting on his other teammate, Eddie Morris. Currently runs back in the 3rd position. So 2 out of the 3 CCM Motorsports drivers, or Cheeseless Crackers Motorsports drivers, having a pretty decent night tonight. Blake Hensley up in the lead. Eddie Morris sits back in 3rd. Joe Wright, though, on the other hand, not having a very good night. Currently in the 13th position. Has been involved in a couple incidents. See a little bit of damage to the back of that truck. So, tough break for Joe, but plenty of time, again, for him to get himself back up to the front as we go back double file and get ready to go back green flag racing. Again, looking forward to tomorrow night, seeing all the throwback paint jobs. Just a couple here in the race tonight. We see Will Witt running a throwback, Devin Butchnow throwing it back to Mark Martin, David Hartney throwing it back to Richard Petty, Atman Weiss throwing it back to Martin Truex Jr. As the field comes off of turn number 4, green flag back in the air. Eli Lewis throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt. As we got some 3 wide for a second back here. Cody Moore takes a hard corner. Really cuts down off the corner to get down underneath Eddie Morse. And he's going to try to take away that 4th position. Cody looking like he was shot out of a cannon. Down to the inside of Eddie. Ooh, gets a little loose there. Allows Eddie to gain momentum up on that high side. But here comes Cody back down on the bottom. Just behind, we see Devin Butchnow working that low side to get around Derek Chaput. And now he's going to look up to the high side. Try to get around Cody Moore up there. Side by side down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Moore with the advantage on the low lane, but here comes Butchnow trying to fight back. But Moore gets loose down on that low side. That allows Butchnow to get that advantage, that run again on the high side. They're back to side by side off of turn number 2. Cody loose again. Cody cannot get the traction down off the corner. And now he's going to get tight into the corner. Almost gets turned by Kyle Mays. We saw that earlier where Cody turned Kyle. Kyle had the advantage, or had the opportunity to kind of pay him back in a sense, but decided not to, and that allows Butchnow to move up into the 5th position. And Cody just looks like he's burned those back tires off that truck. Todd Mays falls way back. He's coming down the pit road. Oh, David Hartney comes down pit road, and Doesn't look like any damage to the 43 machine, but he's down on pit road. And taking his reset. So here comes Blake Hensley off of turn number 2 and down onto the backstretch. Butchnow now taking a look down to the inside of Eddie Moore's. Caution out on the track. Looks like it's for Zachary Cox, who has jumped into pit road, and that's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind as we take a look to see what happened to the 51 machine. Well, it wasn't just the 51 involved here. We see the 10 of Jake McCartney involved in this one as well, as Cox got loose off the corner, chases it up the track into the side of the 10 truck. They both go down to the inside here. McCartney catches that inside guardrail, and then in almost a Steve Park Dale Jr. moment, the 51 drives underneath the 10 to send him up on his roof, and that's going to cause both those drivers to have to reset. So McCartney now currently on pit road, getting his service done. Eddie Morse down on pit road and off pit road. See Michael White getting some damage fixed. Todd Mays getting some service done as well. And Blake Hensley continues to lead. Of course, we are just past halfway here tonight. Let's bring you through the field. Blake Hensley, currently your leader. Brett Murrell runs back in the second position. Then we'll find Will Witt back in third. Devin Butchnow in that Mark Martin paint job. He's going to run back in fourth, with Cody Moore fighting his way back up into the fifth position. Kyle May is in the 55. He currently runs sixth, right behind Cody Moore. Then Derek Chaput in the seventh position. Clint Stone finds himself in eighth after starting on the outside row, or in the second row, and catching the apron earlier to catch Will Witt and spin them both out. Then Brian Murrell Jr. runs back in ninth, and Joe Wright in the 10th position. Atliam Anwes in that 78 machine, he is currently in the 11th position, with Eli Lewis to his outside in 12th. Michael Provolt in the 13th position, and Dave Wright currently in 14th. Todd Mays back in 15th, and Eddie Morris after pitting in 16th. Michael White in 17th. David Hartney is the first car one lap down. So we're re-racked, restacked, getting ready to refire yet again. Blake Hensley down on the low side. He is yet to pit, him and Brett Murrell as they come down. Green flag is in the air. We've seen all night that 88 getting a great jump on the restart, but now Will Witt on a little bit fresher tires tries to make the move down underneath Brett Murrell. They are side by side for second place as they make their way down to turns 3 and 4. Will almost caught that curb. Almost makes contact with Brett Murrell. Here comes Devin Butchnow up on the high side. We see Kyle Mays working hard around the outside of Cody Moore. Will just not able to get around that 11 machine. Now he's got Butchnow to his outside. Butch trying to use that high side to his advantage. Ooh, almost some contact as Will Witt pulls a little slide job up in front of the 68. 3 wide racing behind Clint Stone, trying to make it 3 wide up on the high side. Oh, he runs into the wall. Clint Stone around. Oh, big wreck. David Hartney involved as well. I think I saw Atliam Anwes caught in that one. Now you see the damage to that 78 machine. That's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind. See if we can see what happened to Stone here, because I saw... I'm not even sure what happened to Clint Stone there. Let's rewind this just a little bit further, because it almost looked like the truck just jumped up in the air. Let's see if we can see from the blimp here if he made contact with anybody, or... So Cody Moore and Kyle Mays make a little bit of contact, and looks like some net code between Clint Stone and Cody Moore. Derek Chaput gets ran into the back by Brian Murrell Jr. Here comes the 03 of Eli Lewison. Dave Wright makes some contact. Here comes Atman trying to dive down to the bottom to get out of the way. David Hartney gets run over from behind. Atman just hits you at that inside guardrail. There's Michael Provolt involved. Eddie Morris able to get woed down to avoid the incident, but tough break for a lot of drivers who have really, really good runs here. Fortunately for Hartney being involved in that, he does not get the lucky dog. So he's going to stay back in the 17th position, one lap down. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage to that 43 machine, so he should be able to continue on without an issue. Clint Stone, on the other hand, looks like Clint may have retired for the night, along with... Now the 10 is still on the track, so Clint Stone... We'll take a look up at the ticker at the top. We'll see if Stone is out. Yep, you can see right there, Stone is out, along with Cox, Hagerman, and Cheeseburger. Now, there are a couple drivers out there who have yet to pit. The 88 of Blake Hensley has not pit yet. Neither has Brett Murrell or Derek Chaput. So all three drivers still on the original tires they started this race on, and the original fuel tank. Or tank of fuel, excuse me. They all have the same fuel tank in them, but the original tank of fuel. So here we go. Blake Hensley in that United States Post Office machine down on the low side, coming back to the green flag, which is in the air. We are back racing. And another great jump. Brett Murrell able to slide down in front of Will Witt, as Will Witt and Devin Butchnow race side by side for the third position. Butch up on the high side, able to drive it in just a little bit deeper, but Will Witt able to get the throttle down a little bit sooner, and they continue to battle side by side as they cross the line. We have just 30 laps to go. Will Witt gets pinched down a little bit off the corner. That allows Butchnow to clear the 35, but here comes Will fighting back on the inside. Can Butch... Oh, Will got loose. Will got really loose, and that allows Butch to have that position. Now Will trying to gather it up, trying to hold on to it as he was just sliding all over the place. Oh, Cody Moore. Cody Moore off the track into the grass. He falls all the way back into 16th. No caution, though, as Eddie Morris has moved himself up into the 9th position, right behind his teammate, Joe Wright. Side by side now, they've changed positions. This time, Will's up on the high side. Butch is down on the bottom. They fight side by side, continue to battle for this third position. Now Butch is going to pull a slide job of his own up in front of Will Witt. Let's take a look to see what happened to Cody Moore. Oh, we already see him around into... Man, it looks like Cody might have had a little bit of help here. You see, Atman, no, he lost it all on his own. There was no contact made at all. So, tough break for Cody. Michael Provolt and Derek Chaput battling side by side. It's a battle for the 13th position. What we've seen all night is that inside lane just not able to get the throttle down. as easily as here comes Brian Murrell Jr. under attack from Atlee Weiss. Atlee not able to get into the corner as well as he wanted to, loses a ton of time. He's going to have to try to remount the charge. Here comes Joe Wright around the 03 of Eli. Oh, Eli up into the wall. Uncle Todd gets caught up in that as well. Doesn't look like too much damage as the 03 is able to continue on. Todd Mays, though, looks like he does have a lot of damage. You see that left front tire kind of hanging out a little bit. He may have a little bit of wheel damage to the left front of that 9 machine as Atlee Weiss trying to make his way around the high side. Now Atman's going to dive down to the bottom. And Atman's going to move himself up into the 10th position. Kyle Mays and Michael White battling back here. This is a battle for 5th. Kyle Mays has it. Michael White wants it. As they come rocketing down the front stretch. White, though, just not close enough to get anything going. Up front, Blake Hensley continues to lead with a 1.3 second lead over second place Brett Murrell. Both drivers have yet to pit here tonight, but Devin Butchnow up in the 3rd still has Will Witt trying to retake that position. As Michael White gets down to the inside of Kyle Mays, Eddie Morris right there in the mix as well. A lot of damage to the right side of that 09. He's trying to get around the 55 of Kyle Mays. Eddie Morris trying to follow through, and again, we've seen that bottom lane just not able to get the power down. Now White's going to clear Mays. Eddie Morris is going to try to take a look down to the inside of the 55. So move Eddie up into the 6th position. Now, does he have enough time to get himself up towards the front? As Devin Butchnow is trying to run down the 11 of Brett Murrell, and Blake Hensley's lead continues to grow. Blake Hensley with a bit of a clear track out in front of him as we take a look right along here with Hensley. See, clear track out in front. Nothing he has to worry about. No pressure from behind. As Will Witt continues to try to put pressure on the 68 of Devin Butchnow to try to get himself up onto the podium. Just behind, we see Kyle Mays and Brian Murrell Jr. battling it out. This is a battle for the 7th position. Jr. hooks that low lane, tries to get the power down to get around the 55, and he will. At least I thought he was going to be able to clear the 55 there. Slides up in front of Kyle. He will take that position away. Just in front, Michael White and Eddie Morris going at it. This is a battle for 5th place. These two drivers on the same set of tires, both pit on lap 66, but Morse able to get around Michael White to move himself up into 5th place. Now, does he have enough time to chase down the two in front of him to get himself up onto the podium? As Will Witt and Devin Butchnow have kind of calmed down on their battle back here. We see Cody Moore taking a look down to the inside of Kyle Mays. Move Cody up into the 8th position. As Kyle Mays is starting to fall back just a little bit. Next car behind Mays will be the 82 of Joe Wright. And then Atlee Atman Weiss as Butchnow starting to gain on that 11 of Brett Murrell. Neon Teammates running 2 and 3 as Brett runs into some lap traffic going around the 84 of Dave Wright. While the lap traffic slides down in front of Butchnow. Let's see if that slows down these two at all, as Eddie Morris now within striking distance of Will Witt and Devin Butchnow. Eddie on those much fresher tires with just 7 laps to go, making his way through the field. Up front, Blake Hensley has a 4.5 second lead. Last thing he wants to see right now is a caution, because that could change everything here. Next time Blake crosses the line, we will have just 5 laps to go. Eddie Morris has now caught Will Witt. The sun is shining. The track's going to start heating up. Grip's going to start to go away. We've seen mostly cloudy skies all day today. Now you see this track starting to brighten up. That's going to change the way these trucks handle just a bit, as Eddie's able to dive down, but not quite close enough to make the move on Will Witt. Devin Butchnow has also caught his teammate Brett Murrell. So Butch trying to take over that second position. While that's all going on, we have just 3 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. And Butch and Will are there, along with Eddie Morris. Morris, though, just running out of time. Tries to take a look down underneath Will Witt. Not going to make it happen. 2 laps to go. Blake Hensley coming up on some more lap traffic. He's coming up on the 37 of Derek Chaput. If he comes across the line to take the white flag, the yellow flag will be put away. And we'll have just 1 more lap to go, which we do. White flag in the air. 1 more lap for Blake Hensley. He's got a plenty big lead. He could just kind of hang back here. He's going to try to get around Derek Chaput. Down into turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag is in the air. And Blake Hensley is going to win here at North Wilkesboro. Brett Murrell is going to come home second. Devin Butchnow, P3. Will Witt comes home 4th. And Eddie Morris drives all the way back up to 5th. But your winner tonight, driver of the 88 United States Postal Machine, the mailman, Blake Hensley. He's going to come down onto the front stretch and celebrate his win. And he's going to do it old school. He's going to do himself a Polish victory lap. Saluting the fans. Jason Blakely says, way to go, Blake. You dominated this race. He did. Led every lap here tonight. As he's coming around on his Polish victory lap. Again, saluting the fans here at North Wilkesboro Speedway as we get ready to take a look at the results. He celebrates here on the front stretch, burning it down just a little bit. So Blake Hensley gets the win. Oh, I forgot to change the... So Blake Hensley gets the win. I don't know why that's not changing, and I do apologize for that. Let's try this again. There we go. Blake Hensley gets the win. Brett Murrell comes home second. Devin Butchnow in third. Will Witt and Eddie Morris round out your top five. Brian Murrell Jr. comes home sixth. Cody Moore seventh. Michael White, Kyle Mays, and Joseph Wright round out your top 10. Atlee Weiss brings it home 11th. Todd Mays back in 12th. Michael Provolt, Eli Lewis, and Derek Chaput round out your top 15. David Wright 16th. David Hartney falls back to 17th. 18th was Jake McCartney, Clint Stone in 19th. Zachary Cox, Logan Hagerman, and Michael Lawrence round out the rest of the field here. As we get ready to talk to your top three, starting with your third place finisher, Devin Butchnow. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
How you doing, Josh?
Man, I'm doing great. Great run for you here tonight. Bringing home third, making 13 spots up on the track here tonight. Man, what was the strategy to get your way through the traffic there, and how could you have done anything differently here tonight?
Well, I could have started by not screwing up my qualifying laps. I had just no rear grip. I drove it way too hard. I never do that. I'm super mad at myself. It's not the track you want to start 15th and try and drive your way through the field, but I think we were in ninth, and I gave up a couple stage points to pit on the stage, get 4 tires, just because Brett was up front talking. He thought he'd be close if they went green, which we just didn't get green. But no, somehow we were able to just methodically make our way through the field. We got a 0x here from starting 15th, which was a win in itself. That was pretty crazy, but just really good racing. Yeah, great racing with Will, like always. Can't say enough about him. Brett, I saw her on the line there at the end, so that looked pretty cool in the broadcast. But yeah, we just ran out of rear grip at the end. Had nothing for Blake. Wasn't really in a position to try and race Brett. You know, if we can bring home 3 neon trucks in the top 6, then we'll take that coming out of Wilkesboro for sure.
That was exactly my next question. You got to feel pretty proud as a team owner having 3 out of 3 trucks in the top 6 there. A tough break though tonight for Jake. Just wrong place at wrong time. But man, Brian had a good finish tonight too, so you got to feel good about that.
Yeah, no, Junior's able to fight his way back, and Jake's just got to get that rookie monkey off his back, I guess. He's had some really good runs, and it's just circumstances out of his own. Those will shake off. You know, we've all been there. But yeah, I can't say enough about Brett and Junior. We're really shooting to get 3 trucks at least. Or if Jake can scrap up some good finishes here, maybe we get 4 trucks in the playoffs. But we're really busting our tails here in the trucks. We've been running really well, really consistent. I'm really proud of everyone. So we're definitely eyes forward. None of us have wins yet, so we're still just trying to get as many points as possible. Brett had a heck of a day, and then Junior rebound after that incident. I didn't see what happened, but yeah, really, really proud of those guys. They're come a long way this season for sure.
And how much does this translate over to tomorrow night?
I think a little bit, because you drive it the same way, but you know how the Xfinity cars, they drive like boats compared to these things. I don't know how loose we'll be. I'm sure we'll be a little loose on exit because they're pretty heavy, but it'll definitely translate a little bit. Any track time is good track time. So haven't raced here in a while, so it felt good to get out here and ran well in practice, choke the qualifying away, and just happy to come away with the podium for sure.
Well, before we let you go tonight, anybody you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here?
Yeah, this is the first league race. I've never had my sponsors on the car, so I had to throw it back to Mark Martin. But no, I want to thank you guys as usual. Everyone in Intensity, you do a heck of a job. Can't thank you guys enough. Def Sports Cards, Level Up Subs, McKinleyville Barbershop, New Craft Fine Jewelry. They enjoy watching this, and you guys put on a heck of a show for them, so appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and we look forward to talking again soon.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it.
There was your third place finisher, Devin Butchnow. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Brett Murrell. Brett, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Man, great finish for you tonight here, coming home second. Didn't look like you had much there for Blake. Neither one of you, though, came down pit road, which is kind of surprising. Was that when did that strategy come into play, deciding to stay out the rest of the way?
I think that happened pretty quick when it felt like we were on lap 20 on our 17th caution. I'm looking at it now, and we actually had 65 green flag laps. Didn't feel like that many. I thought we had more cautions and more caution laps than what it actually shows here.
No, it's kind of a tough start to the race, but a great finish there, especially for you. In the Team Neon in general, coming home 2-3, that's got to feel pretty good. Do you think if circumstances, maybe a caution would have came out there towards the end, you might have had something for Blake at the end?
I mean, it was all about the restarts and trying to time them, and there was definitely getting some tire spin there. I was hoping for no restart at the end because I don't know how bad it would have been. We started seeing those fresher tires catching up. You know, Dev and I think Eddie had pretty fresh tires. I know Junior had fresh tires, so did not want to restart there at the end. I don't think I had anything for him.
Well, again, awesome job coming home P2 here tonight. Before I let you go, Brett, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here?
Yeah, as always, I'd like to thank Intensity and Neon Racing, Dev Butchnow. I think he cut me a break there at the end of that race, more than likely being the teammate. But everybody in this Neon group is awesome. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. Dev's really good, obviously, and helps us get better each week. So just a big shout out to everybody in this league.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, man.
That was your second place finisher, Brett Murrell. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, though. The driver of the 88 post office machine, Blake Hensley. Blake, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
What's going on, Josh?
Man, I am doing well. Congrats on the win here. Dominating performance. Led start to finish. What was the secret to staying out there? I mean, you were able to not pit and still hold on and start to drive away from people.
Yeah, so, the nature of the racetrack, it's close quarters, short tracks. There's going to be some beating and banging, and there's certainly quite a bit of that tonight. You come to expect that. So qualifying was really everything. During the practice before the race, I was really pushing hard on trying to see what I could do in the warning track a little bit, so what I could do for lap time. I wasn't as fast as some of the guys in practice, but I think they got their quick times on a green track. So, I ran about a 18.9 something, I think, in practice, and then I qualified it. Me and Will actually had the exact same times, 18.85s. So the track position, starting on pole, taking care of it on the restarts, being in the lead and trying to maintain a gap. So I wasn't pushing the tires hard at all. Any of those restarts, I was not pushing the tires. I was 3/4 driving the truck. And then that last run, I was able to take off. The guys behind me were obviously using their tires up, and I've been saving, so I was able to put a pretty good gap on Brett there to the end. So yeah, I mean that was that's the secret for everything. And then just watch your fuel and take care of the tires, and you can stay out and run 110 laps easy at Wilkes.
Yeah, it seemed like the track was really, really slick out there too. You were talking about keeping those rear tires on the truck. How hard was it to get the power down, and how slick was the track out there tonight?
I really can't say anything as far as that because I was babying it the whole time. I never had an ounce of wheel spin. Maybe only a couple times, on restarts or something like that. Getting into the throttle too hard on the restarts. But as far as when we were running race pace times, I had no problems with the track. Track felt great, and it was taking everything I was throwing at it. And I think I was just every restart I was getting quicker on the beginning of the runs until the tires started wearing out a little bit. So yeah, I didn't really struggle that much with any looseness or anything like that tonight. I feel like it was pretty perfect.
Awesome, man. Well, great job here tonight, getting the win. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, of course, always shout out to you all for doing an awesome broadcast. Like to get on here and share it with my Facebook friends. I saw several of them in tonight watching. Glad they were able to drop in and see a dominate performance like this. I know Jason Blakely, co-worker, was in here. I saw Brian up there in the chat. Hate he couldn't make it to the race tonight. Of course, always beautiful girlfriend was in the chat too, watching. Glad she's able to drop in and see a win come like this. Just been a really good last couple weeks. We've won an Xfinity race, now a truck race. We've been running good in the Xfinity Series all year. Had a bad run at Dover last week, but Dover is by no means my style of track. So as long as we can keep up these kind of performances, I feel like we have a pretty good shot at making a run for the chip in both series. Thanks to CCM, proud to be a part of the team. Got some awesome group of teammates: Eddie, Joe, Brian, and Stephen Black. big thanks to Premier Racing Setups. Proud to be a house driver for the team, represent them. And yeah, just love to see things fall our way like this.
So how much does this transfer over to tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night is kind of a toss-up. I got some stuff going on tomorrow evening, a little while before race time, so it's kind of a toss-up if I make it here or not. But if I'm able to, I feel like it's probably going to swing my way. Just try to do the same thing we did tonight and try to duplicate these finishes. It'd be pretty sweet to be able to come to Wilkes and stay on the top of the podium for both races. So we may be able to give that a shot.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win, and we look forward to seeing what you can do tomorrow night.
Thanks, Josh. We'll talk to you later.
Have a great one. So that was your winner here tonight, Blake Hensley, driver of the 88 machine, getting the win here at North Wilkesboro. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night as we do it all again, but in the Xfinity Series. Atlee Atman-Weiss will have the call for that one tomorrow night. We're going to throw it back. You'll see some more great paint jobs on those Xfinity machines. So check that out here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can know whenever we're live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to check out our great partners like Butt Kicker and EC Racing, as well as IntensityBroadcasting.com. Check out that for all your merchandise and come support us there as well. And as always, as our boy Atlee Atman-Weiss would say, over and out.